Bitcoin right now is seeing some resistance right here from this key resistance level. So far we are coming down. Guys, in today's video we are going to talk about the Bitcoin price action right here, what to expect over the next coming days and weeks ahead. And I'm also going to tell you exactly how some scenarios could look like, which might not be the most bullish, but how you can basically prepare yourself to easily flip buyers. So guys, let's jump straight into it. And let's start off very clearly that I've been very clear right here that I expect until the next 60-day cycle low, which would occur around the presidential elections, around the 4th, 5th November, I don't expect that breakout yet in the Bitcoin price. It's possible that this already was that early 60-day cycle low, so that this was a 50-day cycle. That's definitely possible. It would be extremely bullish. But right now, I don't see that yet, and we do get some resistance right here from this white line, and I will show you exactly why we are getting some resistance from this line. This is a very significant line, but my main scenario right now, guys, and maybe it's easier when I zoom a little bit out, my main scenario right here is just move sideways until the 60-day cycle low, maybe get a drop, maybe get a dip, and then slowly grind back up and break this resistance, and then eventually see higher levels for Bitcoin. That's my main scenario right now. But like I said in previous videos, until we form the 60-day cycle low, we still can get a correction, and also we still can get a pullback right here. Also, when we look at Will Portal, I mean, it is lining up for we have some selling pressure. We have an extremely bullish sentiment. We got some bearish divergence on the momentum indicators, and we have some overbought conditions on the momentum indicators. So generally speaking, the data picture for Bitcoin right here is, it might not be clear yet for a clean breakout right here. However, if we do break out, price action definitely will become more significant, of course, than other data. But like I said, from my point of view, I would expect a little bit consolidation, maybe a little pullback before we can actually break that resistance. But so far, like I said in my previous videos as well, when you zoom out on Bitcoin, it's extremely bullish. And this chart, for example, I've been sharing this already many times, based on time, we're actually entering the acceleration phase of the bull market. Based on the structure right here, this is looking really bullish. We had at the resistance kind of a U-shaped consolidation. We broke this flag to the upside, so we already resolved a 6-month consolidation. We already resolved that to the upside. So you got to be honest, there is a lot of strength in Bitcoin, which is visible right now. And that's why you can't really be that extremely bearish for the next 6 to 12 months. Of course, it's always a possibility, and that's why I'm going to highlight that in today's video. But how the chart looks right now, it might look like, okay, shorter, we might get a pullback or whatnot. But it does look like Bitcoin is showing its hands, it's showing its cards, and the cards are looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go to this white line. What is this white line? Well, go to the weekly time frame right here. This white line is basically a resistance, rising resistance that we have been creating since 2021, when we actually topped in the previous bull market. Of course, we got another top, but you could actually already argue that this was the exact top, and this was just a retest of that top, maybe forming like, I don't know, a ABC correction structure, something like this, ABC, because we have a 3-wave up and we got a 5-wave down. So that's definitely possible that something like this actually occurred. So that means that this was actually the top. But yeah, of course, this level came even higher than these levels right here. But as you can see, the time that we hold these levels really was not super significant. It was a short amount of time, maybe 1 month, maybe a couple of weeks, where we just spent around these levels, and then Bitcoin just rolled over. And that's something I wanted to share in today's video as well, because we gotta look at this structure, and also, let me get rid of the red, and see how we can prevent something like this happening to us again. So when we do see that Bitcoin creates a resistance zone like here, especially when that resistance zone is at the previous all-time high, which we are seeing right here, then this resistance zone is very important. But if we do something like this, where we just break to the upside, but we don't see any follow through, and we just roll over and lose this level again, maybe even retest it as resistance on shorter term time frames, then that is extremely bearish, and you gotta be able to flip your bias from a bullish perspective quickly to a bearish perspective, because the chart is basically telling a different story. So how would that look? For example, like let's say we would do something like this. So we just consolidate a bit and slowly we just break above this resistance level, which I think is going to happen. We maybe have some retest in the shorter term time frame, and then Bitcoin holds above and starts to accelerate right here. That's very bullish, and that's basically the scenario that I'm expecting based on the narrative that Trump can become president, based on the time that we are on the cycle, but also based on this beautiful structure. We got a nice neckline right here. We got a left shoulder, head in the middle, looks like a right shoulder right here. That right shoulder didn't even go too deep, right? This is a really deep shoulder, which is definitely more bearish than just a small depth of shoulder right here. So this structure is just, like I said, generally looking bullish, and I would expect something like this to occur. However, if we do replicate something like this, you got to be really quick in flipping your bias. So when we break above this resistance, maybe get some acceleration, but then lose this level again, lose this level in the structure, then that will be very bearish, and definitely have to flip my bias to a more bearish perspective until we are able to break back above this level. So that's always the risk that you take, right? So maybe like, for example, if you like would sell your Bitcoin the moment we lost the support, you might see a small bounce, and maybe Bitcoin might go up again, and you can re-enter, and you lose like some small margin right there, because maybe your entry when it breaks back above is slightly higher than at the moment you sold. So you actually pay a small fee to see what's going to happen, right? But generally speaking, if we do see something like this, if we do see a break of a key resistance level and afterwards fail to hold that resistance level as support and just like drop below it, that's generally speaking a very bearish sign for Bitcoin, for basically any chart, right? Breaking key resistance and not being able to hold it. But so far that's not the case. Definitely Bitcoin is looking pretty good right here. Structure wise, like I said in the previous videos as well, if you really zoom out, looks really like we are replicating previous cycles. So we have like nice bull market, U-shaped recovery till the previous all-time high, break above, nice rally until we top, U-shaped recovery until the previous all-time high, we break above, we get a nice rally. I do want to mention, guys, that as you can see, the length of these extensions after we break the previous all-time high is decreasing. So here we can see we have a pretty big increase, but if we look at 2021, so it's already like, it's maybe even 50%, right? So if we take like, for example, 50% for this, and we will put that right here, then you can see Bitcoin's price could reach like, let's say $150,000 US. So this is called diminishing returns. That's definitely true. I definitely see a lot of evidence in the chart that we are having diminishing returns, because you can see this bull market extension is way bigger than this one. And it really makes sense, because the higher Bitcoin goes, like the higher we go in this chart, the more liquidity is needed. And of course, at one moment, liquidity is really sucked up, and there is just not enough liquidity to keep these same gains. So for example, right here, you need a certain amount of, let's say, I don't know the number. This is just a, how do you call it? This is just a arbitrary number, but let's say you need 100 billion to get this pump in the Bitcoin price, right? This pump needs more than 100 billion. This one maybe needs 250 billion, right? Because to go from this level to this level is more difficult than to go from this level to this level. This needs less liquidity than this. So from this level to go to this level, Bitcoin also needs more liquidity. So when we go from 70,000 US dollars to, for example, let's say 140 or 150,000, that means that the market cap of Bitcoin needs to double from where we are right now. So guys, when we go to coin market cap, we can see that the market cap of Bitcoin is 1.4 trillion. So if we want to go to 140,000 US dollars, we need to double this market cap, which means that another 1.4 trillion needs to enter the Bitcoin market. Well, you gotta ask yourself, where's that money going to come from? And of course, there will be a lot of institutions, pension funds, people like Michael Saylor doing their best, BlackRock, you name it, all the ETFs will bring in a lot of liquidity. But that's also needed if we want to double the Bitcoin price. Right here, the situation was completely different. There were less institutional investors right here. It was more retail investors, and we just need less liquidity than to get similar gains right now. That is just the basic market math. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. So the key points of this video is that generally the structure of Bitcoin is looking very bullish. And it looks also like we have diminishing returns. So once we break all-time highs, the gains won't be the same as the previous one. The gains will decrease. This is not an endless stream where everything goes up, right? There will come a time where this probably will roll over as well, where Bitcoin will have a very long bear market to correct from this insane long bull market that we are already in since its inception, actually since 2009. So yeah, guys, that's the main point. And the other point is that I want to make is that you really have to watch whether Bitcoin does break significant key resistance right here, that we are holding above these levels. And the moment we are rolling over, things can get ugly. But it also can be in a shorter term time frame. If you go to the daily time frame, for example, you can see we do get some resistance right here. If we right now get back into this channel, like significantly back into this channel, so like structurally get back into this channel, then this would be very bearish as well, because that would mean that this is a failed attempt of breakout. That's not something you want to see. But that's just the, let's say, the 10-20% scenario that is a possibility, but it's not that probable if you ask me, because a lot of things are actually lining up pretty good for Bitcoin, right? But nevertheless, if you want to recognize whenever that probability, that small probability of a bearish price action will increase to a higher probability, you gotta watch these structures. You gotta watch how Bitcoin is going to react after breaking significant levels. And if we do something like in 2021-22 right here, where we just like break the previous all-time high, as you can see, and then rolling back over, losing this level again, that is a big warning signal. And yeah, in hindsight, of course, you don't care where you are selling. And if eventually the price goes back up again, you can always re-enter the moment we break the resistance. You might pay a small fee just to check what the price is going to do, but you have a higher probability of actually being profitable or making the right decision in the long term, because you pay a small fee to see what's going to happen. If it goes down, you are able to buy Bitcoin at a lower price, so you already took profits at the right time. But when it goes up, you make a small loss but re-enter. But you gotta have the right mental state for that, because you have to be able to execute whenever you see these things happening on the charts. So guys, that was for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, guys, as always, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That is very much appreciated. Make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell icon. As you see, I'm going to upload videos a little bit more random during the day. There's not a specific time that I'm going to upload. I'm just going to upload a video whenever I feel like that I want to share something with you, that I have some important information. So definitely important that you have the bell notification on, because then at least you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Guys, thank you all for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye bye.